It's Power Hour LSU.
To the field, terror of the tiger, I'ma always keep it real. Everything gon' get devoured, it's the power. LSU with Carter, it's the power. LSU with Carter, man, I'm headed to the field. Terror of the tiger, I'ma always keep it real. Everything gon' get devoured, it's the power. LSU with Carter, it's the power. LSU with Carter, man, I'm headed to the field. Terror of the tiger, I'ma always keep it real. Everything gon' get devoured, it's the power. LSU with Carter, it's the power. LSU with Carter, man, I'm headed to the field. Terror of the tiger, I'ma always keep it real. Everything gon' get devoured, it's the power. LSU with Carter, it's the power. LSU with Carter.
Let's freaking go. The LSU Tigers, the Fighting Ones of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the 2026 version of the best transfer portal class in the history of this sport. They are now on national championship watch. We are now on national championship watch. Are you kidding me? January 23rd, I get new Harry Styles music, and now I get my football coach shocking the world, bringing in the number one transfer portal class at the three most critical positions in the modern game. You got the number one quarterback in Sam Levitt. You got the number one pass rusher in Prince Will. And then you get Mr. Jordan Seaton. And in celebration of this, I got a special gift for you. I feel great. I don't do this too often. Our Patreon and YouTube membership Jordan Seaton film study is now public. All right. We got a bunch of members from our last one, and guess what? I want all of you to watch it just so you could see what it's like to be a YouTube member and what it's like to be like LA Mom and many of our patrons as well, what it's like to have access to that. So what makes Jordan Seaton special? This is arguably the best pass blocker LSU has ever had. You can make a case that Jordan Seaton is a better pure pass blocker than Will Campbell. Now, I don't believe that, but he's at least in the conversation of the great Saron Black, the great Will Campbell, the great Kevin Y, even though he played center. Think of any great offensive tackle or great offensive lineman. Jordan Seaton is as talented as that one when it comes to pass blocking. Run blocking, he's not necessarily your traditional hand in the ground, road grader type, but he is a good run blocker. And he is going to develop into a complete player next year under Lane Kiffin's tutelage. And Eric Walford, boy, oh boy, you were an offensive line coach. Now you're more than just that. You have a weapon, a guy that Colorado used in many bizarre ways. They pulled Jordan Seaton a lot. And normally when you say they pulled, people that don't know football jargon, they think, oh, they took him out of the game. No, they did the opposite. They used him a lot in games where in the film study we showed you versus Iowa State, they pulled him not once, not twice, but 3 times in their opening 20 plays of that game. And he was a solo puller. Normally solo pullers are at the offensive guard position. No, they pulled him from left tackle all the way around to the opposite side, which included a viral tweet from yours truly. So, look, you could talk all you want about expectations for next year, but LSU is going to be in the national championship conversation, and they should be. I understand this is going to be a brand new team. I understand this is a roster that, will get picked apart because we don't know a whole lot about it. Obviously, we know who Trey S. Green is. We know who Caden Durham is. We know who Harlan Berry is. But whatever it is that you are looking for out of an LSU roster, this team has it, right? There really aren't a whole lot of weaknesses outside of right now, that opposite offensive tackle position, and maybe just a little bit more continuity and familiarity with the players that are all coming together for one common goal. So, look, when you spend as much as we have spent on top of LSU paying what they paid to get Brian Kelly out the door, one thing we can say about LSU and the brain trust that is, the Fighting Tiger athletic brand is unlike you and I. LSU is not broke. They are not broke. I never want to hear LSU doesn't have the money to do something because goodness gracious, abracadabra, all we heard for so long is we can't fire Brian Kelly now because we can't pay him $54 million. Boy, we have spent that on this roster, it seems. One roster full of 18 to 25-year-old young men. So, look, I am in a state of shock. I really am. Did I think LSU was going to clean up and do really well in the transfer portal? You betcha. But, could there have been other schools out there that outbid LSU? There probably is. There probably is. But it's Lane, y'all. It is Lane. I heard it nonstop from the Ole Miss mouth breathers that Lane Kiffin cannot recruit. He just simply can't do it. When all we've seen, especially for those sickos like myself that has Lane Kiffin tweet notifications, Lane Kiffin's at this high school. He's at that high school. He's shaking this hand. He's shaking that hand. He was with JT Curtis and the bajillion trophies in his trophy case a little bit earlier today. I'm so freaking excited that Lane Kiffin is my tackle football coach of the Fighting Tigers of LSU. So go on ahead and ratchet up your expectations for this year's team. It should be sky high. This is the best offensive brain power we have ever had at LSU. It is. Okay? And now we better be ready for it. All right, this is obviously the best offensive coaching we've had since, Slinger and Joe Brady. And this is an offensive head coach with an offensive coordinator that had some serious NFL feelers out there. And we're in a spot right now that LSU, at the very least, I think the floor of this team needs to be 9-3. All right. So can LSU go 10-2? That's the question. Because 10-2 with the 9-game SEC and a decent Clemson team next year should be able to get you in. It didn't get Vanderbilt in, didn't get Texas in, even though they had 3 losses. But, a lot of people viewed it as a 2-loss Texas team. But they did have 3 losses. Whatever the case may be, this is now playoff or bust. Okay? Got to get it done. Got to get it done. All right. So, as we always do, we want to be excited. We want to bring it. We want to stuff Oregon and Miami in a locker. We want to talk all of that. But now that we are 8 minutes into this, let's pick this apart. All right. So, I'll post Jordan Seaton's PFF grades because one of our many PHLers, we say hi to Jared with a very generous super chat to start things off. Keith coming in hot, a new YouTube member. It's going to be crazy. Fellas, I think we got us a race car. And did you know race car is what's called a palindrome? Did you know what a palindrome was before tonight? It's the same word spelled from front to back. Anyway, here's Jordan Seaton's PFF grades. And what did we tell you? As a pass blocker, this is special stuff. He had one bad game that was versus Utah as a pass blocker. As you could see, y'all, they were losing by 30 basically in the first quarter in the loudest environment in the Big 12. He couldn't hear the snaps. That was his only bad pass blocking game. Run blocking, as you can see, was below average. So that's going to be the big thing. But this guy is truly special. And look at what he's already played. 21 total snaps. Can you believe that? Over 1,400 snaps. Crazy. Didn't play towards the end of the season because of injury. This will probably be a 1-year rental. It could be 2. My goodness gracious. This is insane to get that caliber of a player this late in the cycle at the single most important position when it comes to the transfer portal. So, we won't go as long because we already did a 2-hour show a little bit earlier tonight. And it wasn't quite 2 hours, but, you factor in the 30-minute prep that we do before that. And yeah, I put off my birthday celebration with my wife. because this is the best birthday present a man could have. Yes, a left tackle. I desperately need it. I went through what I went through last year with Weston Davis and whatever we had at left tackle, which was a rotating door due to injuries. I am feeling great. Feeling great. Feeling good. How are you? That's a great song. Let's go to Jay Addison. He better step his run blocking game up. We're going to have to get a good run game this year. You're absolutely right. Let's go to LA Mom. If you couldn't hear in Utah Stadium, I hope they can prepare him for LSU Stadium. Well, when you're on offense, there's not crowd noise. I mean, there is crowd noise, but I think you get that. LSU is just different. But, that's just me assuming what was the issue. I wouldn't watch that game. They were so discombobulated for that entire game. It's crazy. Let's go to American Patriot. He has to be better than DJ Chester. Well, I can assure you he is better than that. I can assure you. Steven says, we up. Sherry Berry says, hashtag we different. LA Mom says, wow, I wonder how Lane Kiffin is celebrating. We'll get to Lane here in just a second. Brian Hunn says, happy birthday for you and the Tigers. You better believe it. What would be the best birthday present if we get at least 5 members by the end of tonight's live stream? So there you go. I want to get to this. This was sent to me by Nick, and he is our official, Nick doesn't know this yet, roster expert here on PHL. Made a very nice handy dandy graphic for us here on PHL. And this is your roster for the LSU Tigers. Now, he also included the amount of 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. And this is by the high school recruit ranking. So 2 5 stars, 1 3 star, Sam Levitt, Hassan Longstreet, and Landon Clark out of Elon. Obviously, of these 3, we're huge fans of Landon with his coach basically joining us, his quarterback guru. And the names in gold are the returnees. You get here to the running back position. Obviously, Harlem and Caden will lead the room. But it's going to be interesting. Dylan Jones of Wisconsin, Stacy Gage. Remember those names. We only returned 1 wide receiver. There is one mistake here. LZ is from Illinois, not Syracuse. But, that gets confused all the time. No big deal there. But see the loaded wide receiver room. Tight end, I think Zach Grace is going to be interesting. Malachi Thomas is going to play a lot next year for LSU. I think Malachi Thomas is going to be a name you need to get to know during this offseason. Then get to the offensive line. And this is where we will spend most of our time. Okay, Brian, welcome to the membership. Gregory, welcome to the membership. You're joining American Patriot and many others. So this will probably be the most common question that I get. What will the LSU starting offensive line look like next year? Well, there's 2 positions that are locked in. All right, it's locked in. Jordan Seaton at left tackle, Braylon Moore at center. Those are the only 2 players that for sure have starting roles next year. Well, we haven't practiced and Lane. No. All right. I'm going to put Alu Ba at right guard. At left guard, let's go bold. Jaquan Sprinkle. And then right tackle is where it's going to get interesting. I think to start camp, Weston Davis will be your right tackle. And this is good news for Weston Davis. It may not seem like it, but it is good news. You didn't want all the pressure to be on your shoulders. Because if you didn't land this, you were basically going to be in a spot where Weston Davis, it was going to be near impossible for him to not play this next year. We have Gregory, Brian, P-Foy. He was waiting for a birthday. And Seaton, if you're watching this, we'd love to have you on, man, if you want to hop on a live show. Let's keep it going at defensive end. Gabriel Relaford, Damian Shanklin, Kalaj Coppins, Dylan Carpenter. Got a little bit of a misspell there. No problem. Trenton Henderson, the true freshman. Jaylen Brown, Jordan Ross, and Prince Will. All right, so a few things about this. I do think you will see Lamar Brown play some end next year as a thicker defensive end type of player. But obviously, if you're to pick starters, Prince Will is going to be one of them. And then the opposite will probably be Relaford to start things off. But we'll see. Defensive tackle, I think Stephylin Green and Malik Blockton will be your starters. But out of any position that plays regularly on defense, defensive tackle does rotate the most. So you're going to see a lot of Dominic McKinley in particular. And you're definitely going to see a lot of Richard Anderson, Deuce Geralds, and Lamar Brown. You don't bring in top 100 recruits knowing what you have to pay to get those guys and not play them. So as you can see, linebacker is the one position that truly has a lot of returnees. See if we can make this bigger for you. That's what she said. Whit Weeks, Devon Keys, Tylen Singleton, Zach Weeks, Charles Ross, Keelan Moses, Aiden Breaker, should be Jaden Breaker, and then TJ Dottery and Theo Grace. This one's pretty straightforward. It's going to be TJ Dottery and Whit Weeks and Devon Keys. But once again, you give Blake Baker a lot of credit. So last offseason, he signed 5 off-ball linebackers. All right, he signed Jack Weeks. He signed Charles Ross. He signed Keelan Moses. He signed Jaden Breaker. And he also signed CJ Jim Coyley. All right, so I told, let me see. Make sure I have Jim Coyley over here at safety. Yeah, there he is right there. So Jim Coyley, you can also put at linebacker. You know, once again, you've got to give Nick a lot of credit for not only making this graphic, but you got to give Blake Baker a hell of a lot of credit because not only did he convince Whit Weeks to come back, he brought back all 5 of his high school recruits that he signed out of high school. And what makes that even more impressive is none of them played. You know, Zach Weeks played some. Jim Coyley played a decent amount. Ross and Moses. Ross mostly on special teams. Jim Coyley, a lot of special teams. Breaker didn't play really at all. And Blake Baker did a good job keeping all 5 of them on campus. Really good stuff. But obviously, it's going to be the Dottery and Weeks show. We then get to corner. This one also straightforward. This one also was the only position that really didn't get transferred in because they feel really good about PJ Woodland and DJ Pickett, and they should. Now, obviously, Havon Finney. That's a guy that Corey Raymond's really high on. Havon Finney is the name that you have to remember. But also, give LSU a lot of credit. They kept Jakeem Jackson on campus, Michael Turner on campus. They didn't play a whole lot. You then get to safety. Jim Coyley, Cooley, Spears. But you also bring in Fahim Delane and Ty Benefield. Really, really, really sexy stuff. Aiden Hall is someone that I do like a lot. He slid in the rankings for some reason. Okay. And then, of course, this is your coaching staff. A huge staff. Class totals. 16 high school, 35 returnees, 42 transfers, 93 total players. Once again, you can have 105 now. This is a really good graphic. And then obviously the kickers, punters, Chadwick, Hayden Craig, they'll compete. Starzik at kicker. Mac Mulhern will be your long snapper. 6'1", 225. That's really good size for a long snapper. Really excited about Havon Finney, though. Confirm. Oh, yeah, we went to that one. Is Devon Keys really good in coverage? He could be better. He could be a lot better. But I do think he'll get better. All right. So we won't go too long here. Next 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to answer as many as we possibly can. If you do have any Jordan Seaton questions, fire him in. I've watched a decent amount of him. Didn't watch his true freshman stuff, but, I probably should. I tend to heavily weight true freshman snaps because if you're at any P4 institution and a school plays you a lot as a true freshman, number one, you're getting experience. But then number two, they are trusting you to go out there and compete. And the fact that Seaton never really got benched lets you know at the very least, even if you don't fine-tooth comb his PFF grades or his film or anything like that, you really look at this and say, hey, kid's got to be okay. It's got to be okay. Now, Nick, I've got a few texts from the other night about your graphics. I get confused, though, with the Syracuse, Illinois. They do look a lot alike. Now, I do not know Jordan Seaton's final number. I do not. You would have to think the absolute lowest that it probably was $2 million. That was probably the absolute lowest. That's all good, man. Yeah, just send it to me, man. Let's go to Pegasus. How does Seaton's first 2 years compare to Will, Emery, and Hurd? Well, of the four, Hurd was the worst. Will was better than Seaton. Seaton was better than Jones. But Emery is the more physical player, the better run blocker out of him and Seaton. Okay. Let's go to JT Cool. Welcome to the channel. I believe the contents of your message because you've got an absolute fire ride here. Seaton better hire a real CPA and take some financial classes on how to manage his own money. Greedy ass uncle will F this kid up financially. State tax and federal taxes are a killer. Well, I won't say who, but a prominent former LSU Tiger tweeted out something about how he thinks taxes should be abolished. Now, he's not the only recruit that has tweeted this out or has said this publicly and privately, because college kids are starting to learn pretty quickly what taxes actually are. And I'm telling you right now, you might not get collegiate athletes to come together to collectively bargain, but you will see collegiate athletes quickly turn into libertarians. All right. Oh, man. You oh my God. What if that was all Jill Stein needed? Well, what if it was just that? If she ran during this era, oh man, she would have every college football player giving her votes. I think she was a libertarian or Green Party or whatever the hell. And I'm not making this political. I'm not. It's just a joke. But these These college kids, they don't like taxes. Dang, that's good, man. It's my BFF right here. Speaking of Will Campbell, that man has gone through it this playoff season. You know what's interesting is speaking of the NFL playoffs, really quickly. So Will Campbell's had a tough playoffs, and it's just that simple. Overall, good rookie season. But he's had to go up against Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. And then he went up against Khalil Mack the round before. So he's been through it. But it's kind of crazy. We're going to have Will Campbell versus Jamar Cain, right? The former LSU defensive line coach. So that's like Nick Bonito and those guys. It's going to be tough. Okay. I will say this, though. There has been much made about Jordan Seaton's uncle. All right. So sometimes with these things, it's not the mother or father. It's a different family member. But Sam Levitt, it was his brother. With Jordan Seaton, it was his uncle. All right. I will say that there was there was BS LSU, which is a group of fake LSU reporters. They tweeted out something about Jordan Seaton's uncle. I really don't know all the details with Seaton's uncle. I really, really, really don't. If there is anything. And the only thing I saw was from BS LSU. I've had someone else tell me in the know that there's an uncle involved here. I'm not worried about it. We got him. All right. I will say, though, it is interesting. The only other uncle that I know that manages an athlete is Uncle Dennis. And we played some Pablo Torre stuff in our show from earlier. And Uncle Dennis, of course, is Kawhi Leonard's representation, which got Kawhi in a lot of trouble. But I think we're fine. Okay. But I'm not worried about Jordan Seaton's uncle. I'm not worried about anything right now. The fact that Lane was able to pull this off, like, really think about it. We won a recruiting battle versus Miami, which seems to have infinite money with the Darian Mensah thing, and Oregon, which has top 5 bags in college football. It's insane. Like, really think about it. Lane, for 2 of these kids, 2 of them, made an extra flight to go meet with them. This is a 50-year-old accomplished man. Well, Carter, he's getting paid to do this. He didn't have to make an extra flight to go get Sam Levitt. He didn't have to go the extra flight to go get Jordan Seaton. Lane got his ass on the move. All right, coming up next, we'll do it again for the second time tonight. Everyone's favorite segment.
Power Hour Network listeners and viewers, you might be consuming this content with that crick in your back that you've been trying to get rid of for so long. Take this as your sign today to book your appointment with LabourdTherapy.com. In the Lafayette region, there is no one that you will find that cares more about any different type of pain that you might have than the team at LabourdTherapy.com. Book today. Once again, that's LABORDE therapy.com, or you can visit one of their 5 locations all throughout the Lafayette region.
Appreciate PHL and their support. We couldn't have done it this year without Laborde Therapy. Lane Kiffin said spot the ball on 1/2/26 before the transfer portal. It would be the best ever in history. Hope you enjoyed the grand finale at LSU football. Lane, you mother effer. You mother effer, Lane Kiffin. You are one bad mother effer. Lane said, spot the ball. Crazy. Three of the top 5 players in the portal coming to LSU. Incredible haul by Lane Kiffin. Look at that. So Seaton tweeted this out like right after we ended. And at the end of the stream, I said, we're going to go live again tonight. Jordan Seaton announced. And we are here. So that's it. What did Lane tweet today? Give LSU a lot of credit. They got the job done. Hit that thumbs up, baby. And you want to talk Josh Heupel? Well, honestly, I will tell you this about Josh. Once again, I will never be the most plugged in person on the planet. That's just not what I am. Okay. But one industry source told this to me, that Josh Heupel brought in one of the best coaching staff additions, and no one's talking about it at all. And it was the strength and conditioning coach from Indiana. I think his name is like John Owning or something like that. Something with an O. I don't know. And this is how gangster this was. He coached in the national championship game, and they had a jet waiting for him outside of the stadium. He hopped on, went straight to Knoxville. Didn't get to celebrate with the team or anything. And he was in Knoxville the next morning to start the weight loss or the weight program for Tennessee. And they said this guy's special. I mean, he kind of sort of needs to be. All right. There, you know, that's something I didn't really think about. It's like, damn. Wouldn't anyone like just rationally think, hey, the guy who just won a national championship with a bunch of 3 stars, shouldn't we be going after their strength coach? And Tennessee did. But yeah. All right, I'll play this. This is Jordan Seaton's commitment video. I just can't play the audio because I like having a living.
Your football team is made in the trenches.
Hey, boss, we got her say. Summing up by saying this place is different.
This is so cool. That's crazy. This edit is nice. There you go, JC. Look at this. We got a perfect 10 on the beam.
In the perfect position. Scores are building.
Let's go, Kaylin. Love to see it. William, good to see you, man. All hail the mother effing Portal King, baby. Let him know, Damon. Dang, why y'all getting nasty in the stream? Ain't no need to get nasty. I knew this was coming from William. I appreciate you. Let's have a day, bro. Let's have a mother effing day. All right. That'll do it for me. I have a few birthday things I put off. But I'm telling you right now, y'all, the rest of the SEC knows what's coming. I mean, look, I don't think at this point I could say LSU is better than Texas. Obviously, Georgia's going to be good next season. They return Gunnar Stockton. But I'm just telling you, this is a no lower than top 5 team in the SEC. And it's probably closer to 3 than it is 5. Okay? Like, really think about that. You might have the best team in the Southeastern Conference right now. Right now. It is going to be so freaking insane this next year. We almost got to the 5 members. But for real, y'all, turn me up. Turn me up. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share. Let a friend know that this is the best LSU YouTube channel. Okay. All right, y'all. We'll talk to you soon. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. Tonight we are doing gumbo. Let's go. By the way, if you just tuned in, let me go ahead and post this in the chat. We do have a Jordan Seaton film study. It's right here. So there you go. Check it out. Tonight we are doing gumbo. Let's go.